Have you ever wondered how to prepare healthy food that actually tastes good? Well, stay tuned while Avita Tizano, Brenda Kemp, and yours truly, Nice Collins, show you just how to do it and give you a taste of paradise.
My name is Avita Tizano.
And my name is Brenda Kemp. Thanks so much for joining us today.
And today we're going to be making open-faced tacos. Brenda, my favorite is Tex-Mex food.
Oh, I just love Tex-Mex food too, especially the refried beans.
Yes, but you have the refried beans and it's fried.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem.
Yes, but today we're going to be making refried beans without the beans.
How is that possible, Evita?
Well, we use sunflower seeds and we use sun-dried tomatoes to give it that consistency, and we use other spices to give it that Tex-Mex flair.
Wow, that sounds delicious.
So let's begin our recipe. The ingredients are 8 sun-dried tomatoes, half, 2 cups of raw sunflower seeds, a half jalapeno pepper seeded and chopped, 1 green onion chopped, 1 1/2 tablespoon of coriander, 1/4 cup of cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. So let's begin with our sunflower seeds.
Okay. Now, have these sunflower seeds been soaked?
Yes, these sunflower seeds have been soaked overnight to make it a little more creamier and easier to digest, and also it also makes the beans so much creamier. Yeah, when you do that. We have the sun-dried tomatoes, the cayenne, salt, lemon juice, green onions, and jalapenos. Love the little spiciness of the jalapenos.
Do we need to add
do we have to add the garlic? Forgot the garlic. Garlic just adds so much flavor to food. Okay, and then we will process it. I'm going to have to coax it along a little bit.
So again, this is going to be the refried beans?
Yes, yes. And it also has almost a meaty kind of texture as well. Okay, Brenda, let's make the sour cream now.
Okay.
The ingredients for the sour cream are 1 cup of sunflower seeds, 1 cup of water, 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 garlic clove pressed, 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. So let's begin with the sunflower seeds. And olive oil, onion powder, nutritional yeast, water. Yes, press that clove of garlic for me.
Okay.
Thank you, Brenda. Again, garlic is great for flavoring food, and I only use fresh. We used onion powder instead of fresh onions in this recipe because onions tend to be a little overpowering for this recipe. So we used the onion powder instead. And now we blend. So now let's build the tacos.
Okay.
You start with lettuce leaves, romaine lettuce leaves, and get those refried beans. And this is a wonderful treat, especially when you're trying to lose weight, something quick and easy and fun. You start with the refried beans, and you just spread them over the romaine lettuce leaf. Let's lose the spoon. I think that'll be a little easier.
Exactly. Let me get a try at that.
Okay. And that's your base.
These really kind of look like refried beans.
Yes, they do, and the flavor is fantastic. I'll do that one for you. And what's so good about this, Brenda, is that most tacos are fried. The shell is fried, it's corn. Mm-hmm. And these, you're using romaine lettuce. So you're not using anything fried.
And I hear romaine lettuce is very good and nutritious.
Yes, it is. It's better to eat than iceberg lettuce. Iceberg lettuce is empty calories. Well, it's really no calories at all. It's just water.
Basically water.
Yeah, basically water. So now we'll add the spinach. And start on adding those tomatoes. Yes. Look how beautiful that is.
That does look good.
Green onions. And let's use some of that sour cream.
That actually does look like sour cream.
Yes. Can I use your spoon there? Yeah, that's fine. And you just kind of drizzle the sour cream on top.
That's good.
Yeah, this is a good summer food too, especially when it's hot outside. This is very hydrating. So now we have it. Open-faced tacos.
That looks great, Evita. Tacos without the crunch.
Fill your plate the right way. Now, I didn't say weight, but hey, that may be a point, that we need to fill our plate at the right weight too. But we're going to show you how to fill it the right way so you don't have to worry about the weight, especially when you're eating good food. So today we have a special program lined up for you, and we have a special guest as well. Her name is Regine. Regine, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Excellent. Regine is one of our associates, and she's an expert in the field of learning how to balance things. She's written periodicals, for different periodicals, for different magazines, on helping us to understand this. Now, we realize, Regine, that a lot of people have the problem with learning just how to portion their meals or to fill their plate the right way. Many times, I guess, they fill it up too much. Mm-hmm. You know, there's that old song, fill it up and let it overflow. Well, that doesn't come in terms to food. We need to fill it up, but just don't let it overflow. And so sometimes we also have people who doesn't fill it up properly. They may fill it up with good items, but they don't fill it up the right way. And so I think that we'll be able to share a little bit here today so that all of us can receive the blessing. Because you all already, if you're alive today, I know a lot of times people say, oh, I'm not eating good, I'm not eating this or that. But if you're alive today, you must be doing something good today. All right? So don't get down on yourself. What we're going to do, you just need to make, or all of us, we all need to make some adjustment. Change, there's an old saying, change is not easy. Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Change is not easy. So all we want to do is make 1 or 2 adjustments. But what's the issue with people and filling up their plate the right way? Why is it so important for us to do that properly?
Well, one of the reasons would be you want to make sure that you're not getting too much of one nutrient, too little of another nutrient. Not only that, but you don't want to have too many calories, too much of any nutrients. Still calories. Calories are calories. So those are the 2 basic things.
Those are the items. But what happens if it's good food? Can you mess up by filling up your plate? Is there a wrong way when we look at good, healthy food?
Yes, there's still temperance, even when we have good foods. So we still want to have a proper balance of even the good foods.
Okay, and that's one of the items that we'll focus on throughout our program, of putting things in order and decency, also how to follow a schedule, which is crucial. And so today we're going to look at 2 main items. There's 2 meals that we need to do. All right, now I know there's people saying you should eat 5, 6 times a day. We'll talk about that in another program. But we're just going to focus on the 2 most important. What are those 2 most important meals that we all should have on a daily basis?
Well, we want to start our day out right, so we have to have breakfast.
Never leave home without it.
Never leave home
breakfast
without it.
Is crucial,
That's
crucial,
right.
crucial. You mess up on breakfast, then you're
Downhill
off.
from there.
You're off for the rest of the day. And what else are we going to look at?
And then we're going to look at lunch.
At lunch, all right? Now, you look like the lunch expert. You know, I'm just saying. She loves lunch and always cooking and stuff like that. And she does the presentations for that. I'm going to focus on breakfast because it's very important that you never leave home without breakfast. This is crucial, crucial, crucial. So how do we portion out our plate the right way when it comes to breakfast? This is what we're going to look at here. The key is always having 3 parts to every meal. Right there you see just about 2 parts. But let's explain real quick, Regine, why is it important for us? What are the 3 parts to every meal first before we even learn how to portion our plate?
Well, first we have to have our non-starchy carbs.
Our non-starchy carbs,
Yes,
okay? So we got to have carbs.
Yes, we have to
all
have
right,
that.
so we have to have carbs. Another part is what?
Then we have our starchy carbs.
Then our starchy carbs,
Right.
all right? So we
Yes.
have starchy carbs and
then our
non-starchy
non-starchy
carbs.
carbs, right.
That's a nice way, I like to put it. Fresh items. So you
Yes.
have one item, which is always fresh, which could be what? Fruits or veggies. So always, first part, always have something fresh on your plate.
Yes.
All right? So that could be breakfast. You have fruits, or lunch, which is veggies. And then you said the starchy carbs, which is some form of a grain,
Right.
okay?
Yes.
So
Whole
we
grain.
always, what?
Whole grain.
Whole grain. There's a lot of grains out there, but not all of them are whole. So we have to have some kind of a whole grain. So this is the second part of the meal.
Right.
And then the last part should be some kind of a
Protein.
slash fat or
Yes.
something of that nature,
Yes.
which is crucial. Crucial. Protein slash fat. Don't mess up with this because, and you know what's something that's really is really weird? Everybody's concerned, I'm not eating enough protein.
Right.
When was the last time we ever heard of somebody being in a hospital for lack of protein? No. Protein is not an issue here. The issue is maybe doing too much of it. The issue may be what kind of proteins we're choosing. So we have to look at those items and you know, instead of all the jargon and stuff, let's get to that meal. And we're going to get to breakfast, which you should never leave home. If you left home without breakfast, turn around, pull back and get your breakfast. Or if you didn't have it at home, make sure you bring it with you. So we're going to give you these 3 parts, remember? Something fresh.
Right.
Some kind of a grain, starchy grain, and some form of a protein slash fat. This is very crucial. So let's look at an example of breakfast here. One of my favorite is the tropical detoxifying fruit salad. As you see here, we have the pineapple. We have pineapples in there. We have kiwis. Pineapple good for the stomach. Kiwi good for the immune system. You have the mangoes as well. Mangoes is crucial for the skin, so you can be so fresh and so clean. Now, how should we do it? We should fill about half of our plate. Now, this is not your average plate. What is the average plate? Because
6 to 9 inches.
6 to 9. We have about a 12-inch here, about a 1 foot to 2 foot. But this is breakfast. But they said breakfast,
Yes.
eat breakfast like a what?
Like a king.
Like a king.
Like
So
a
why
king.
can't I have, you know, a little extra? But wait a second. I guess like you said, everything in what? Moderation and temperance. Yes. But I'm just have this big plate here because we have a lot of items. So at least half of our plate, my plate here this morning is filled with fruits. Now you can do the tropical detoxifying fruit salad, or you could just choose a fruit of your choice. You decide what fruit works best for you. You like apples? Enjoy apples. You like grapes? Enjoy grapes. But make sure it's at least what? Half,
of your
okay?
plate.
And it should be about maximum 3 to 4 fruits. If you do too many different types of fruits, it brings a little confusion there. So we want to find a nice balance,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In the fruit item. So we got half there. So this is considered our fresh item. This is part number 1. Always, another thing is in the digestion of food, we want to eat in the order of digestion. Now, explain to us just a little bit, the order of digestion, like, so is there a rule that we should eat in a certain way? The order of digestion?
Well, it would be best to start with that fresh fruit.
Okay,
Right,
so fresh
that fresh
item. Now, we all heard that. It's key to start with a fresh item.
Yes.
For those who've done it the other way, you've experienced the effect. You ever went to like a setting where they have a lot of food and stuff like that, and you eat all your food and you having a good time, and then you get a dessert?
Yes.
What's the dessert normally? Probably some fruits.
Right.
What's now like summertime they go crazy over watermelon and cantaloupe.
Exactly.
Wintertime,
Yes.
what kind of fruit they do? I don't know if there's a wintertime fruit, but whatever it is, we always finish off with fruits. And if you notice what happens in like an hour or something later, you like. And you have this like tingling sensation, and you just had some watermelon, but it comes back up tasting spoiled and rotten. Or you have some grapes, and it's like, man, did I drink wine or something of that nature? What happened is, because the other foods that Regine was sharing with us, you know, the grains and the proteins and fat, they take a little bit longer to digest. You already knew that. If you only have breakfast of just fruits, what's going to happen in an hour or two?
Oh, I would be hungry.
You'll be starving because fruits are digest much quicker because they digest in the stomach. It breaks down because they are water-based. So when you start having other items which have fats and different items like that, they take a little bit longer. That's why it's key in portioning your plate to make sure you just don't have fruits for breakfast.
Right.
Because in about an hour and a half, you're going to be like, give me something else to eat. And you know, if somebody's too close, you may even bite them or something, right? So we don't want to do that. We want to be out of jail, not in jail. So we're going to move forward now. So we have the fruits, and the next part of it should be some form of
grain.
What kind of grain did you mention?
Whole grain.
A whole
Yes.
grain. And so what we have here is the crispy golden granola. And this is crucial because it's a whole grain. Because what were some of those ingredients that you put in there, Regine?
We have whole grain oats.
You have whole grain rolled oats,
Whole grain flour.
whole grain flour, whole wheat flour.
We have a bunch of nuts in there.
So you got a couple of nuts and items like that. So we have our starches here.
Yes.
That is crucial now. But here's the thing. Don't stop breakfast.
No.
This is just the first 2 parts. But how many parts is there again?
We have the third part.
We have a third part to breakfast. And that part, as you said, was the
Protein, fats.
proteins and fats. So what is that last part? And you have some examples here. Finish off with a handful of nuts. Nut of your choice, you know. So right here we have what? We have walnuts, okay? You know, it's pretty cool. I love to always share this with people. You have the walnut. What organ does that look like?
The brain.
It looks like the brain. So walnuts are good for the brain. Anybody stressed out lately? Eat some walnuts. You have a little anxiety, eat some walnuts. You depressed, no problem, eat some walnuts. Or you can have some Brazil nuts as well. But what you want to do is just choose one nut. And usually, how much should we have?
Just a handful.
Just a handful, but your handful looks a little heavy there, you know? That's a lot. So we like to do what? Closed fist upside down. Because some of us doing hands full, some of us doing can full, some of us walking to work with a bag full.
Very true.
Too much, and we wonder why the blessings are just overflowing.
Right.
All right? So just a handful of nuts upside down. If you go like this and you're trying to squeeze in 5 more Brazil nuts, I see y'all doing that there. No extra blessings there, all right? So that right there now would hold me for about, how long would this complete meal hold me for?
I would start getting hungry 4 or 5 Even
4 or
6
5?
hours with
Even
this kind of
6
meal.
hours.
Yes.
You eat this thing, you're bursting at the seams. You're good for
Oh, for
4,
sure.
5, 6
Definitely.
hours, as Regine mentioned. But then, now after breakfast is done, but you know, sometimes people don't want to eat that. They like savory items. So watch this. You could even have a little unsausage right
That
there.
looks so
A
good.
little gravy, no problem. You want gravy, enjoy the gravy. Just make it yourself. And we have the unsausages there, which you can make, no need for bacon and then all these other other items, or turkey sausage and stuff. You can make your own. This is really simple and easy. And you can have a savory. I like savory breakfast, right? So we can have that as well. And that will go in place of the crispy golden granola. So you saw how we just did that little
Yes,
swap there real
yes,
quick?
yes.
And so you still have what do you call it?
You have your starchy carb or your
Starchy
whole
carbs
grains.
or your
Right.
whole grains.
Right.
And this is considered a well-balanced breakfast.
Yes.
But breakfast is not the whole day, because I can't live on one meal a day. We need a second meal. You're the expert in the second meal. This is lunchtime. I'm at work. I'm hungry. I'm
Right.
starving. How can I portion my meal at lunch?
I just love this plate. You get a 6 to 9 inch plate. You want to cut that in half, okay? You have half of that, your fresh vegetables, just like Nice talked about, your fresh vegetable. We have a nice salad here with some radish, some beets, some carrots. And then we just have 1/4 of our plate with that starchy carb, the whole grain brown rice. Doesn't that look good?
That is amazing. But wait a second. I have my salad, but that salad looks a little dry. I need a salad dressing. Somebody give me something to help it flow or whatever. So you just put some lemon. This is crucial now, because it's the salad dressing that's putting a hurting on the people.
Yes, for sure, because you have those creamy dressings. I mean, the salad, there's nothing wrong with the salad, but you can add a few hundred calories just putting on those creamy dressings, especially those, and the oils, the fat, yes.
So you tell me I portion my plate properly, but I can still be doing myself an injustice just by adding a little salad dressing.
Those add-ons can add on.
And so watch this. I like a little add-on, because I just can't have no lemon. I
Right.
mean, I need a little salt. So what we encourage people, just a little pinch of salt. It's not going to kill nobody. Right. Enjoy that, because I can imagine how much salt that those dressings have.
Yes.
They're loaded. There's quite a bit of sodium in there, no?
Right, yes. And I even like to add a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, just to make that really nice and savory.
Just don't speak to me after, but that's fine. No problem.
That's right. I'll just stay right
cool.
here.
You keep your distance. So we have the salad, you said,
Right.
and then 1/4 was the whole grain?
Whole grains, and then we have another 1/4 here of our protein.
Okay.
Right.
So you got the black eye. Some people call it
yes.
cow peas. Anybody like black eyed peas? I don't know about you, but I love them. And you mentioned here that it was crucial, the black eyed peas, because they are one of the highest sources of folic acid.
Wow.
So let's go ahead and get as much as we can. Enjoy them. Anybody like black eyed peas? Enjoy them. Go right ahead. And so we have that with the what? We have that with the flaky brown rice as well. Very simple, very easy. Is that going to hold me, or do I need something to follow that?
This will hold you.
Okay.
But you know what I like about this is, a lot of times we think about measuring our food.
Okay.
Weighing, measuring, points, the different things that people use. This is just such a simple method, because you're just looking at your plate. It's a very visual. You have half of your plate with the non-starchy carbs, your vegetables, and then you have a 1/4 here with those starchy or the whole grains. You have a 1/4 there. It just makes it simple.
So something fresh,
simple.
some kind of a grain,
Right.
and some kind of a bean or something
And
like
you see that visual.
And then, matter of fact, you see, because I need a little fat. I need to keep some size and stuff like that. So then we'll just go ahead and we'll do a handful of nuts just to finish that.
That's right.
And you know what the funny thing is? If you try this at home, or at job, or at work, you will find that you don't even need to eat 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. You could just eat twice a day, well-balanced meals,
Yes.
and nighttime you would not be hungry. But the key is, when we get home at night, though, we got to go to bed. Because the longer you stay up, 11, 12 o'clock, you feel like
hungry.
somebody just gave you an uppercut in your stomach.
so true.
And that's because you're burning more energy, so that's why you get that hunger pang. So if you could get to bed before that hunger comes, then by God's grace, twice a day. And matter of fact, one lady was following just a simple plan. And you were even telling me, it was you that told me that, did she change her food? Did she eat this way?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
So what does she eat then? Because there's 3 parts here. I mean, if she's not following it, how did it work for her?
Well,
Or how can we all get started on this?
what I like about this is you don't have to start with, let's say you're not into the whole grains yet. You just haven't gotten there yet. That's
Right.
something that you want to do, but you haven't gotten there
Okay.
yet. Let's say that you do like your white rice still. Let's say that you still, like your meat, you still like your, you still like all those things.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's where we start. But a great place to start is just putting it where it goes on the plate. A lot of times we get that white rice and it's most of our plate, half of our plate. But if you put that white rice just right there on the corner of the plate, you're still balancing the calories.
Okay.
You're still putting those nutrients where they belong. So that's still going to be an immense help to you, because a lot of times we have, let's say the rice comes all the way over here, the meat's all over here, and we may have a little side of veggies, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even if they're eating the way, let's say they just like broccoli,
Okay.
then they can make sure instead of having that side of broccoli, they have half of their plate is broccoli.
Very
so they're
nice.
starting to kind of get an idea of where it goes, how it goes, and that's going to make a big difference.
So the key here then is not only just the type of food that we eat, it's how we actually portion
Right.
the food that
Yes.
we eat.
Yes.
And so if we could just give these little things a try, I mean, we don't have to do everything overnight, but just try one thing. Like she said, portion it out. Many times we put the salad on the back burner. We're going to have to put the salad in the driver's seat now. All right? And next to that driver, we're going to put a little whole grains or something like that, whatever carb you were using. Matter of fact, there's one right here that I think would be a good switch. And it's just a simple item as a baked potato.
Right.
Now, baked potato gets the bad rap, as I see that there. It gets the bad, oh, they always say what, it adds on what, fat?
Right,
And
yes.
different items like that.
No.
I disagree. The potato is very humble, kind, loving, and he just wants to give you vitamins and nutrients.
That's right.
But what we do to him is what caused the problem. We'll take that baked potato. What were some of the things that they put in there? How does that affect us?
Ooh. Well, I mean, the baked potato itself is usually under about 100 calories, so it's really not a lot of calories to begin with.
Okay,
But when
excellent.
you add things like butter, you add sour cream to that, that's going to add on, I mean, those things themselves have more calories than the baked potato itself.
This is true. And if you had tuned in to one of our other programs, y'all would have seen we made some nice little cheese sauce and stuff. Why don't we use that little cashew cheese that we made? You could put that over your baked potato and enjoy yourself. Now, a lot of times people think when it comes to health and stuff, like they have to eat less and I'm always hungry and I don't have enough energy and stuff. That's not
No.
true.
Oh, no.
You can enjoy yourself and do that. The key is just balancing out properly.
That's right.
Now, even when you do eat the right food, there are certain things that we want to try to avoid. And here's one way that we don't want to portion our plate. What you got there, Regine? Because
Okay.
you told me you
I
were
love
hungry.
mac and cheese, so I'm just going to pile on that mac and cheese. And the one thing that gets us too sometimes is we get that first, and then we pile it on.
Now you mentioned, look at this plate. This is not portioned properly.
No.
And y'all already know this. And this is a good, healthy cheese.
Yes.
But it's not a balance.
No.
I see no greens on here. I don't see anything. And then we try to give the greens the back burner. But if you just try the simple things that God has given you, it says it will confound the wise, but it will set God's people free and you'll be healthy. Just find a nice balance and temperance in all things, but moderation as well. Have you ever